You guys asked for it, so today we're bringing you the internet's favorite Japanese car, a 1,000 wheel horsepower, single turbo Mk4 Supra. Owners will swear it's one of the best platforms to build for straight line speed and raw power. My name's Marcus, this is Tommy, and you're watching Roads Untraveled. Hey guys, what's up? Today we're in a Mk4 Supra, single turbo Supra, making 950 horsepower at the wheels. We'll roll onto it. I've got to get myself acquainted with the car before you do any power pulls like this, because just being in the Mk4 Supra, it's unlike anything I've ever driven. Even sitting behind the wheel of the R34 GTR was really something different, but everyone knows the Supra is, especially the interior, I mean, it's a cockpit. Everything is facing towards you. It's all about the driver. If you have a passenger, I mean, they're really just along for the ride.
Hi, my name is Tommy Van. This is my 1994 Mk4 Supra, original Canadian car. When we first rebuilt it last year, it did 1,037 horsepower to the wheels at 31 pounds of boost. Right now, as it sits right now, it has around 950, 25 PSI. Believe me, this turbo is so big. It's 80 millimeter Garrett GT47. It hits really hard. I usually, people ask me what it feels like, and I just tell them it's probably comparable to a Mike Tyson punch. When he hits you, this when the turbo hits, it hits pretty hard. I spent 13 years in Florida, and then originally had a 3.4, made well over 1,100 horsepower to the wheels. Sold it to a guy in Nanaimo. That guy purchased it. During the winter when he brought it over to Nanaimo, he was buying barrels of E85, but he didn't know in the winter, summer, the E85 content changes. So he bought a barrel when it was in the winter. The content was lower than what the car was tuned for. He was driving it for, I think, like 3 or 4 tanks, he was telling me, and then he blew the motor. He had Bill at independent speed shop in Langley there open it up, see what was going on, and he fried a few pistons in there, bent the crankshaft. The car sat there for, I think, like 6 months. I came in there, I've always been going to Bill for years, and I've always seen the car there, and I was really interested in it. I've always wanted a 94 Mk4 Supra.
Out of all the cars I've driven on Roads Untraveled, this has got to be the loudest. We've had some pretty loud cars, and I mean the Mk3 Supra we drove very loud and it backfired all the time, but this is on a whole other level of loud. But it gives you a sense of just what kind of power this car is packing. The two things that give this car away, and the only two things, are those fat tires on the back, barely street legal tires on the back, and the sound of that exhaust. We'll roll on for 4 grand. So as many of you know, the Mk4 Supra has been the staple of, well, first of all, the Fast and the Furious franchise, Paul Walker, and straight line speed all over the internet. I mean, people down in Texas, Florida, what are they racing to compete against Lamborghinis and Corvettes, twin turbo Corvettes and stuff like that? It's the Supra. In terms of power, the 2JZ is still one of the best manufactured engines that's ever come out of Japan, one of the best engineered engines for power. What what really surprised me the most is the fact that Tommy's only running 25 pounds of boost, making 950 at the wheels. All boost, no nitrous. That to me is pretty insane.
I got this style, you feel that soul, but still you play the radio. I changed my name.
It's got 5 zigging front wheels just for the street, and then the rear, it's got Mickey Thompson 295, 55, 15s ET streets. They hook depending on the road and where you are and what you're trying to do with the car, right? But most of the time it does hook. But it does get pretty hairy, you know, like second, third, fourth. It's, to be honest, every time I take this thing out for a drive, I tell myself not to do anything stupid. It's a really, really, really fast and powerful car. It's just, it spins, it does all kinds of things, you know. It's a real driver's car. So yeah, so it makes you like focus, and you have to concentrate on what you're doing on the road there. When I first bought it, I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, should I keep it a 3.4 or 3 liter 2J? And I did some research, asked a few people, a few friends, got some advice from Bill. The longevity of a 3 liter compared to 3.4 is a little bit longer, more reliable as well. Yeah, it runs on E85 only. It runs cooler, and it makes more power at good temps.
Here we go. You can feel it start to wiggle around back there a little bit, but it seems pretty damn stable, that's for sure. Now I feel the adrenaline. That's when the adrenaline starts setting in. One other thing to note, for a car with this amount of power, the clutch is extremely easy and well manageable. It's like Dwayne's Mk4 Supra we shot. I mean, you could get off the line and no issues whatsoever. I would imagine that Tommy gets a lot of people wanting to race him in this car. And I mean, if I was him, I would pick and choose who I want to take on, because I mean, guys like that just kind of fooling around, I wouldn't want to waste my boost on them. But if you're coming up next to someone you got something to prove against, someone with a Lamborghini comes up next to you, you bet you're gonna race them in this car for sure. It feels like it was built for this. Big horsepower, high speed, GT car. That's what it is. And look at this, I mean, back seats, right? 4 people in this car, 950 horsepower.
It's got a HKS TI titanium, 4-inch exhaust, 4.5-inch downpipe, and then 4.5-inch mid pipe, and it goes into the HKS TI titanium catback. And I think that's by far one of the best sounding exhausts for the Mk4 Supras, because it's got that distinctive titanium tone to it. It's got ID 2000cc injectors, Garrett GT47, dual ball bearing. It hits boost at around, it's a pretty laggy turbo. It hits boost at around, I would say, it starts building boost at around 45, and then it starts creeping from there. 10-to-1 high compression, HKS 272 cams. It's got a fully built race head on it, Head Games race head. It's got a bunch of Titan goodies in there, Titan head gasket, 1/2-inch studs. Yeah, the list goes on. There's a lot of stuff done.
This is one thrill ride. This is better than any roller coaster, any amusement ride, anything you could possibly imagine. Those tires are holding up pretty well. I mean, I wasn't full throttle, but it's hooking. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Okay, I know you guys have argued in videos in the past, but Supra or Skyline? Tell me what's your favorite? For me, I can't pick. They're different cars for different things. In a perfect world, you'd want to have both, right? But that's my opinion, at least. Yeah, spinning.
It's a fun car to drive. It's definitely something I've wanted since I was like growing up. I remember seeing one of these cars when I was 15. I was like telling all my friends, I was like, hey man, I gotta get one. I gotta get one day. I owned 6 Mark III Supras before. I had my recent one that I sold last year. To get this, it had 600 horsepower, and yeah, you know, Supras, there's something about them, you know.
Second gear pull, 10 pounds of boost. You're up at 60 miles an hour in a second without even trying, half throttle. Most people won't think about this, but this has more power than any road car that Lamborghini has ever put out, ever. It has more power than any Ferrari that has ever been out available to the public, ever. It's an obscene amount of power, pushing the limits of really, I mean, what is possible today. Sure, there are cars, and you can find them online with 2,000 horsepower, GTRs with 2,000 horsepower, Supras, 2,000 horsepower. But I mean, you're gonna run into problems. With a street car like this, you want it to work. And 950 horsepower at the wheels is a fantastic number. If that works for you, I mean, it's great. It's really great. It's something else. These cars continue to amaze me. This car, I mean, the Mark 4 Supra is really something else. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support, and you should go check out our website. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Who knows, you might even see this car again. So like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.
I just want to thank my friend Bill and Tommy from Independent Speed Shop. They did all the work. They put in a lot of man hours, helped me out, get the car going. They know it was like my dream, so they put a lot of time, and they always put me first. All the friends I met through, you know, like the car scenes and stuff like that, Dave Stewart and Jeff Demara, Nav.